Hello, Medicare Adventures, and welcome to another step in our Medicare journey together. My name is Chris Tucker. I am your Medicare guide, and today we are going to talk about the documents that you need as you are aging and how do they relate with Medicare. Now, not all of them relate with Medicare, but the few documents that do, I'll go in into a much more detail about those. So let's go ahead and get started. There are about 6 documents that you want to be able to have in one form or another. To start out, you want to be able to have a will and or a trust. Now, with those particular documents, you would want to consult with a lawyer or other person that you trust who is trained in those documents to be able to help you know, based on the assets that you have and your local state laws and such, what would be applicable for you? What things would you need to have set up? And so that's something that I would direct you to finding a reference for. Again, any or at least many attorneys or lawyers should be able to assist with that. Let's see here. So living will and or trust. The next thing is power of attorney. Now, power of attorneys can be very specific. There are 2 particular ones that you want to make sure that you have set up. First one is a financial power of attorney. This is someone who can act on your behalf for any financial matters. Could be accessing a bank account, paying bills, etc. Okay. You also have the power of attorney that is medically focused. That is a person who does not have the ability to be able to pay your bills or to be able to withdraw money. However, they do have the ability to make medical decisions for you. They would be responsible to enroll you in a Medicare insurance plan, whether it be Medicare Advantage or a Medicare supplement plan, depending upon your needs and your situation. So, one person could have both of these, or, as my own family has set up for my dear grandmother, my sister is a medical power of attorney, and my father is the financial power of attorney. And that was designated early by my grandmother before things have progressed with some health conditions that she has that have made her less able to be able to make some of those decisions and to be able to keep those things in place. So, medical power of attorney, and then there's also financial power of attorney. So you have those 2 different powers that are in your life. Be mindful of who you trust to be able to handle both of those things. And also, although it is difficult to do when you still feel very aware and very mindful of your circumstances, this is something that you want to do sooner than later. You would want to maybe even talk with someone and say, hey, as time goes on, if I get dementia or some other cognitive type of disease that keeps me from being able to make my own decisions, I want you to be my medical power of attorney, and maybe get that set up with a lawyer or somebody else to be able to have that kind of just in place, so that way when the time is right, it can be active and you can have a professional, whether they be legal counsel or others, who would be able to act on your behalf to be able to get those things in place, knowing your wishes beforehand. Excuse me. The next thing, guardianship. There may come a point where you excuse me. There may come a point where you feel like you're not able to take care of yourself in general, and having just one person who is your legal guardian it's a difficult decision to make, because it makes you, in a sense, their child. They have all the same rights and stuff as they would one of their own children. But in cases where you just have one person who is handling both your financial and your medical and needs to make many decisions for you, sometimes a guardianship is much easier as far as to be able to handle. It can be a lengthy process. And so doing it again early, doing it before you think you need to do it, and being willing and accepting of that. It can be very humbling and it can be a very difficult decision, but things become so much more difficult for your family if these decisions are not made earlier in your life. All right. So next thing, and also before I go on to the next one, guardianship. They also are ones who are responsible to be able to sign enrollment enrollment forms to be able to enroll you into a Medicare plan. The next one is do not resuscitate. This one is relatively popular and well known. Even myself, when I was getting a couple of back surgeries, I signed a do not resuscitate. There was somebody there who just did it as a service and just provided that help. And so this is probably one that many people do have taken care of. However, and it goes along with the next one, which is advance directives, which advance directives is basically a folder of a collection of documents that give instruction regarding what things you would want to accept or decline from a medical standpoint. So that way your wishes can be honored, especially by the person who has a medical power of attorney, should you have one, or your guardian. But you want to be able to make sure that those who are responsible for you, those who love you, the worst thing that you would want to have happen is to have your children or your grandchildren disagreeing over whether or not they should continue to keep your body alive, whether or not there should be a blood transfusion done or any other medical procedures that could be life-saving, but could affect the quality of your life as well. And so, although these are things that we don't like to talk about, we like to think we're going to live forever. We like to think that everything's going to be fine and that we'll recover and things will continue on, or maybe we'll just die going to sleep. Unfortunately, with many of the chronic illnesses of today, and just many of the possible accidents or scenarios that could happen, it's important and responsible to take care of these things. Make sure your wishes are known. So that way, in the end, it's not them making the decision. It's them, Sorry, I didn't know I'd get so emotional about this, but it's them honoring the decision that you have made and being true to you. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this is a blessing to you and that this is something that gets you thinking about how you can bless your family. So that way, at that time, as I like to talk about with my clients, when the warranty starts wearing off, when the wheels start falling off of our bodies as they age, which is part of the natural process, that there are things in place to be able to make things easier for your family to cope with not only the loss of you, but also, especially if you have things like dementia or other illnesses that don't take your life, but take who you are. It gives them the opportunity to be able to work through that and to be able to grieve through that appropriately. If you have any other questions, or you would like to be able to suggest a question in our Medicare Adventure together, please don't hesitate to comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, whatever you would like to be able to do on whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it be the Facebook or YouTube. I am thankful each week to be able to provide these insights to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next step of our adventure.